latest from the TechTV newsroom.
Hello, I'm Victoria Racagno in the TechTV newsroom. A Southern California man has pleaded not guilty to perpetrating a news media hoax that sent shares of Emulex Corporation tumbling 62% in a single day in August. 23-year-old Mark Jacob was ordered to return for trial in November, but his lawyers say they are pursuing settlement discussions to resolve the criminal case, as well as a civil suit brought by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Chipshot.com may not be up to par. The online golf shop has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection and has laid off all but a handful of employees. Although the website is still accepting orders, executives say the company is no longer shipping items and may shut down its site later this week. Stay tuned for more updates here on TechTV.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And welcome to the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Leo Laporte. I thank you so much for joining us. Coming up today's show, we're actually, how many times now? I think we were the first national television program in the history of the world to install Linux live on TV. And now, how many times have we done? I think 3 or 4. But you know, it's changing all the time. We're going to do it again. Patrick's going to install Linux live on national television.
Say that twice.
It was so good the last time we thought we'd do it again.
We love the pain. Folks, we got this week's Geek Library entry, Isaac Asimov's I, Robot.
Oh, yeah. Quick. What are the 3 rules of robots, the 3 robotic rules?
Robots can't hurt nobody through action or inaction. Robots can't hurt themselves.
Very important, through action or inaction.
Right.
An entire plot point turned on inaction.
Wait a minute. We should save this for later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, folks.
Then later, Sumidas shows us how to make internet phone calls using your ordinary telephone.
Yeah.
Isn't she clever? Oh, and a computer.
Yeah.
And another little box that needs to be hooked up with lots of wires. And it's really, frankly, it's really hard to keep it working, so just forget about it.
Folks, you smell that? That's a 1-star review.
On today's Fresh Gear.
Before we introduce today's topic in the chat room, well, final results of the last poll.
What was that? The HDTV scam
Does
poll?
HDTV cause Leo to go through apoplexy? 47% of you say yes. 53% of you say no.
I want to point out something. Even though there was a massive campaign on some of the HDTV chat sites or messaging sites to get those no votes in there, it still was darn close, wasn't it?
You know why, Leo?
Why?
Because people just don't care.
That's right. That's why it's a scam. They don't care.
No, it's not true. They're waiting. They're waiting for the price to come down.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
By the way, and another point that we didn't make, but I think a very important point, you're not going to see cable channels like us. I think it's very unlikely, anyway, that you'll see that cable channels like us on HDTV, because cable would have a hard time supporting HDTV. It's really a broadcast technology because of the bandwidth necessary.
Well,
but that's enough of that.
MPEG 4 or MPEG 7 or MPEG
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I think if you had all that bandwidth, what is a cable company going to do? Put more channels on, right?
We hope.
Yeah, not put one big fat channel on.
Well, unless it's us.
Are you saying I'm big and fat?
Oh, just
today in the chat room. What's your future phone? We've heard this incredible phone.
Oh, is this the
bone phone? Remember in the 70s they had this in the back, not the shoe phone. Oh, that's not a bad idea. In the back of the Rolling Stone magazine, they used to have this headphone device called the bone phone that you'd hang around your neck, and the theory was through conduction.
It would rattle your skeleton and you'd
hear it without it being on your ears. So somebody's using that technology to make a wrist phone. And basically, it's a phone that goes on your wrist,
but uses nothing up his sleeve.
It uses bone. I think it's induction, but it could be conduction.
Whatever.
And so that you can finally, all this time you've been going like this, it'll work.
And you'll hear it.
You'll hear it, and your speech will go through your pinky into the phone.
That's really scary. And you know what? It's really going to make it hard to shift a manual transmission while you're driving.
As if people didn't look idiotic enough with those hands-free units. Why they're going around talking like this, and you don't see a phone. Now they're going to be going like this.
And how do you dial?
Well, you use your middle finger. Never mind. So the question is, we've got some choices for you. Go to the screensavers.com and pick out your favorite new phone technology.
And don't tell us about the Bill Gates in the woods joke, because we already know it.
You'll have to tell me later.
Yeah, later on. Much later on. Folks, give us a call on the telephone.
I'm old enough.
Well, yes, maybe. Give us a call on the telephone at 888-989-7879. You can send us a fax at 415-437-5869. And as always, you can chat with us at chat.techtv.com.
Right. Now, if you're on a Netcam, we want to get you especially on the air because we like to see our callers. So we've got a special chat room called the Netcam Cineplex. In the Netcam Cineplex today, it's Shannon and Joshua. Woo-hoo. They are our gatekeepers. Wait a minute, who's the guy in the middle there?
This is our yet another intern. This is Ben.
Man, are we intern rich or what?
Intern rich.
crazy.
Ever since John Mark Nichols, every damn kid in the nation's coming here to work for us.
It's all your fault, Leo.
They all want to wear the Burger King hat, I know. All right, well, welcome, Ben. It's good to have you. And go in there, talk to them, and if they get you on the air on your Netcam, what do you get, Patrick?
We get a fabulous, delightful, the coveted Screensavers magnetic picture frame.
As seen on Geek Launch.
Check this out. AJ and Don spelunking. That's cave exploring in New Jersey.
They're geek-lunking. I get it.
I like it.
You two can get your picture on the refrigerator there. Just send it to, you can email it because we don't care, to the screen.
Well, you know what? It's the only way we're going to get it. I'm ready.
Send it to the screensavers at techtv.com. Make fridge picture the subject line. I don't know why. That still cracks me up. I don't know why.
You know.
Let's just do that again. Make fridge picture the subject line. David joins us on the phone from, I just love that, from Sparta, Michigan.
Again?
Yeah. Fridge picture. Hello, David.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Do you have a question for us, David?
Yeah, I just put a DVD-ROM in my computer,
Yes.
and it can't read CDRs.
That's
Bummer, man.
yeah.
Dude.
Is it a new DVD or did you get it from somebody?
I bought it like about 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's an old DVD.
It's a first-generation DVD.
Right.
You want the good news or the bad news?
Whatever.
The bad news is you will never get that DVD to read CDRs because first-generation DVDs could not read CDRs.
Was that because of the laser strength or something?
It was a laser. It's
a laser dealing.
It's lasers.
Well,
Burned discs are a little dimmer, you know, than the recorded discs.
I called up Toshiba, and they said that it should be able to read CDRs, but the firmware had to be upgraded.
Oh.
Now, I went, they said that they won't allow me to upgrade the firmware because they're afraid that, I'd screw up and the drive would be toast.
Right.
But they said I'd have to send it into them, and I didn't want to do that.
How much are they going to charge you for that upgrade?
They didn't say a price. But but I went online and I went to like firmware.com, and I found my drive there with an upgraded firm number on it.
Cool.
And I downloaded it and put it in. Everything worked fine. The firmware went through and the numbers changed. I went into the system
And it still doesn't read
and it says the numbers that was there.
And it still doesn't read CDRs.
But it still doesn't read CDRs.
See, I know what Toshiba's doing. They're not merely upgrading the firmware. They're putting in a new laser.
They're not putting
really?
in a new laser. Look,
They got to be doing something.
Yeah, here let me show you something. Right, get this up on here. If you can see, it's PriceWatch.com. Just looked up DVD on PriceWatch.com. 2X, 4X, EIDE, DVD, $59, $64.
Pretty
I've seen
cheap.
Them I've
There's
seen
an 8X,
yeah,
5X.
6X, 50, 60, 70.
You really don't need, by the way, any more than an 8X. There's nothing that's going to use more faster than 8X,
Yeah.
and that's under $70.
And chances are, you know what, they're probably not actually upgrading the firmware. They're probably sending you
A new drive.
and
That's what they're doing.
Who knows what they do with the old one. So that's probably a good deal.
So in other words, Toshiba probably lied to you.
Well, it made a mistake in the packaging.
By saying that all it needed was a firmware upgrade. And,
Yeah.
and if you think about it, that makes sense because the problem is that the luminance of these recorded CDs is not as bright. So the physical hardware the physical hardware of the pickup is not going to be able to see that disc.
Quick thought, does it say like 2X or 1X or 6X or anything like that on the front tray, the front of that tray on the DVD?
It's probably a 1X.
Let me take a quick look real in it right now.
Okay. 2 years old. That was really the earliest
it
days
doesn't say anything. It doesn't say.
That means it's 1X.
It's a first generation. Yeah, if it was 2X or higher, it would say somewhere on there 2X, twice as fast.
They never trumpeted the speed. The fact that they're single speed.
Yeah. Well, you said it's actually 6 times the speed of a normal CD-ROM drive, so we could call it 6X CD performance. Yeah.
So basically, I think Patrick's saying you should buy a new one.
Either buy a new one, or you know what? If you can send it to them, go ahead and send it to them. If they'll send you one that works, great. Nothing lost, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Right. Now that you've burned the firmware, just lie about it.
Well, don't lie, just don't mention it at all.
Yeah, I'm sorry, lie by omission. But they're not, what are they going to do, plug it in and check?
It's only lying if they ask, Leo. No. 11th commandment, thou shalt not get caught. Did I
really?
say that?
I've been wondering what that was.
Mom, you're not. I hope Mom's not watching.
Thanks for the call.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. It's not my fault. I tried. I slap them around and everything. Just
after the break, after my mother gets over the heartbreak, we're going to discuss the 3 laws of robotics when the screensavers continues.
Is that the...
The Screensavers is sponsored by APC, providing power protection to more networks worldwide.
Can your business afford downtime due to bad power? Can your enterprise avoid power disruptions? Who ensures availability for more networks worldwide? APC. Power management solutions wherever data is created, transmitted, or stored. For a free downtime analysis, go to iwantapc.com.
I'd say that the TiVo's been a real godsend for me. I'm in a high-stress profession. When I get home, television's my salvation. TiVo let me create my own TV network, so I can watch what I want when I want to. It's my way to forget about the day.
What do you like to watch?
Mainly cop shows.
Get a close on this guy. He's going away for a long time.
Inside the minds of the leaders of the digital age.
Coming up on the next Big Thinkers, Dan Bricklin. In 1979, he created the first electronic spreadsheet, which is a creation that launched the rapid growth of the personal computer industry. Now he's serving as Chief Technology Officer of his company, Trellix. We'll talk to him about the impact of his creation and what lies ahead on the next Big Thinkers.
Big Thinkers, coming up tonight at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. Does your e-commerce site have what it takes to be the UPS Merchant of the Week? Put it to the test. Go to TechTV.com, click on the Merchant of the Week, and enter your e-business. Your .com could win a week of promotion on TechTV. While you're there, vote for this week's contender, and you could win a $100 gift certificate from Buy.com. It's a win-win destination. At TechTV.com, click on the Merchant of the Week.
It's time once again for the Screensavers Geek Library.
Oh. Should I go over the fridge?
You want to?
It's your book, but
you grab the book.
I'll take the walk to the
Folks,
fridge.
for your geek pleasure, one of our all-time favorite books, movies, software titles, or bookmarks this week. A personal favorite of both myself and Mr. Laporte. And the letters. Brought to you by the letters D-O-R-X-W
That's
and
how
A.
we do our fortune telling here.
Oh, Cast It to the Wind. I, Robot by Isaac Asimov. Leo, what do you think of Isaac Asimov?
Oh, he is clearly one of our great science fiction authors. And this book, I, Robot, really defined what robots would be for a whole generation of science fiction writers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, without this, we wouldn't have the robot rules, which everybody, all the way up to George Lucas and Star Wars, has adopted. And even to real thinkers, I think people who really think about what robotics might actually be like, also say these rules of robotics have to be.
So should we tell them about the rules? Or,
Yeah.
You know, we should make them read the book.
No, tell them the rules.
Right.
Come
Rule
on.
number
Now, this
one.
is not a novel, by the way. This is short stories, right?
Well, it's actually, what it is a collection of short stories that Asimov, the first one starts in 1940, the last one hit around 1950.
He wrote these in 1940?
The first one, actually the first one, yeah, and they follow the career, the high points of the career of a robo-psychologist, Susan Calvin, right? So the idea is basically dealing with the idea of how robots work, their positronic brains, which is sort of a quantum mechanics kind of soft, fuzzy, feely concept. But basically, it's the source of all these amazing robot quandaries. And it basically was exploring, you wouldn't call it the psychology, but basically looking at what's going on when we start dealing with smart machines.
The robot rules. They call them the 3 laws of robotics.
First,
a robot may not injure a human being or, and very important, through inaction, allow a human to come to harm.
2,
A robot must obey orders given to it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. That's important.
Right.
So a robot has to obey orders but cannot harm another human in doing so.
3.
A robot must protect its own existence as long as the protection doesn't conflict with law 1 or 2. So in other words, I could order a robot, and this is very important, to destroy itself. And that in that it would have to.
Right.
And that's built into the brain.
Yeah, it's pretty intense, and the idea is
he was brilliant, wasn't he?
Oh, he's severely brilliant. One of the things that
and he knew
really
it too, by the way.
Yeah, well, I think sideburns too. But one of the interesting ideas that Asimov sort of swept in, kind of like the cyberpunks, really cleaned up fiction, and they're actually dirtied up, I think, science fiction in the 80s. Asimov and a lot of these young Turks in the 40s came in and said, look, it's not about, you know,
Tom Swift. It was Tom Swift's science fiction when he arrived. It was fantasy. He really gave it a scientific foundation.
It's like these aren't blasphemers building robots. It's not people who want to create people. It's basically, you know what, it's going to be engineers looking for better tools.
Yeah. So this is a great place to start with your Asimov. You'll go on to Foundation, which is one of the great science fiction trilogies of all time.
In the robot series.
And the robot books as well, yeah. He really is great. Good stuff. To fill out your Geek library,
be sure to check out our website at thescreensavers.com.
A robot does not live by programming alone.
Oh, that's the 4th law. I forgot that.
No, the 4th law was don't kill the guy. No, wait, that's RoboCop. Anyhow, up next, we're going to take some calls. Stick around for more of our computing brilliance.
Yes.
We're brilliance.
We're so brilliant.
So brilliant.
Sub-brilliant.
Oh, that's Tom's website.
Oh,
The Screensavers continues.
Geek Library is sponsored by Microsoft Reader. It's the evolution of reading. Download your free ebook software today at Microsoft.com/reader.
3.1 million high-tech jobs in the next 4 years. Degree required. Prepare yourself for this high-paying industry. Earn your degree in computer science or information systems at AICS. Through distance learning, enroll and study anywhere, anytime. Call now for your free catalog, 1-800-767-AICS. Or visit us at aics.edu.
Hey, I'm looking for a digital camera that stores images on a memory stick. Hey, do you know where I can find one of those digital... Excuse me, what did he say? Never mind. Which digital camcorder lets me shoot on standard 8mm tape?
This your car?
What's the easiest way to email my photos?
No email, hot dog.
No digital camera.
What do I look like, a camera salesman?
Got questions about digital imaging? Ask somebody who knows. Sony. Call and get your free Sony digital imaging guide. It'll tell you all you need to know about digital imaging. You'll even get a personalized recommendation on which products are best for you.
Which digital camcorder shoots at night?
Find out how Sony's digital cameras and camcorders let you capture, edit, and share your life like never before.
Megapixels. Yeah, megapixels.
So call now for your customized guide and get a password to Sony's members-only website.
Thought I told you to move along.
Call 1-877-741-SONY for your free guide.
Hi, I'm Brian. More answers to your computer questions when the Screensavers continues.
Screensavers.com is, well, stealing my lunch money. Folks, go to the Answers and Tips page. This week is Peripherals Week. You need help with the stuff that plugs into your PC? Do you even know what they are? Huh? Folks, it doesn't matter because the Answers and Tips page, it's got all the help you need, and you can find it at thescreensavers.com. Now, in an exciting moment of questioning, Eric joins us on the phone from Cedar Grove, West Virginia. How's it going, Eric?
Hey, pretty good. How about you, Patrick?
I'm ready for a nap, but cruising along, having a good show. You got a question for us?
Yeah, I'm having kind of a dilemma here. I was having a little bit of a problem with my Windows 95 and decided to reinstall it. And I also had an upgrade for 98, and I thought, well, while I'm doing that, I might as well upgrade to 98.
Okay.
I got halfway through the installation, and I got a error message saying that one of the setup cabs was either damaged or corrupted.
That's no good. Then what happened?
Yeah, and, it gave me a little click OK to try and recover it. And, I went through that several times. And I just said, oh, well, to the heck with it, and restarted the computer or turned it off.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I could reboot it to 95 or 98 using startup disk.
Right.
Okay, if I wanted it to reboot to 95 just by itself without using the startup disk,
okay,
it would go, but then it would automatically go to the closing screen.
So basically, you can't run your computer right now.
No.
Okay, so you got halfway through the Windows 98 installation, it got funky on you, and you basically pulled the plug and restarted?
Correct.
Okay, that basically means you sort of got half of an operating system installed on your PC right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there anything on that PC you desperately can't live without?
Well, no, not really. In fact, that was my next trip, was just to reinstall everything.
Okay, have you formatted?
Yeah.
So you formatted and tried to reinstall. Well, then what happened?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't reformat anything.
Okay.
No, that's where I just left it the way it is right now.
Uh-huh.
And what I was hoping for is when I first started the 98 upgrade, it gave me the option of saving my original 95.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Here's the situation.
Do an uninstall. But
yeah.
I can't get to that uninstall.
You're not. I don't think you're going to be able to. Can you even get to that from a boot disk, Leo? There's no way to do that, is there?
Well,
no, he's messed up.
Yeah.
He messed up.
Supposedly there was an EBD tab, and the uninstall was located in it, and I extracted, that whole cab.
I'll put it to you this way: is there anything you really need off that system?
No. I mean, no, I could go ahead and just redo it all.
I'll be honest with you. Your best thing to do right now, one, is when you get into an installation, you want to figure out if you can back your way out of it gracefully by not restarting.
Right.
Especially if you're running into a bad cab or something like that. Because as soon as when you get to a certain point in an operating system installation, it's kind of like committing to a dive in an airplane. You're in.
Right.
You pull out, you're going down hard.
At
this point, you've gone down hard. Now, you may be able to dig that Win95 installation out, but since you were trying to reinstall the operating system, you don't have any files in there you want to worry about, throw in a boot disk, format the drive, and then restart and install the operating system in fresh.
Yep.
It'll make your life...
That was going to be my next step.
Yeah, I think that's probably your best option at this point.
All righty, Patrick.
Okay.
I thank you a lot.
No worries, man. Thanks for the call.
Bye.
And Leo?
He's got a jackalope operating system. Half jackrabbit, half antelope. It ain't never going to run. Brian, on the TechTV Netcam network from Berkeley Heights, New Jersey. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Leo.
How you doing?
Good.
What can I do for you?
Well, I have a laptop and a desktop and a printer.
Okay.
And I just need the laptop, which you so kindly signed in Tom's River.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, it amazes me. People bring in stuff for us to sign, and, good stuff like a laptop. We ruined that with our signatures, a magic marker all over it. All right. So you got your laptop, you got your desktop, you got your printer.
And I need to be able to print from my laptop, which is currently hooked up to desktop.
Say again, you have?
I need to print from the laptop, which is currently hooked up to
So the laptop and the desktop are networked?
No, they're not yet.
Oh, they're not yet. But the printer is hooked up to the desktop?
Yes.
And you want to print from the notebook?
Yes.
Well, there's a couple of, basically you're going to have to set up a network, right?
Yes.
You going to do this all the time or just once in a while, or?
It depends, like pretty much most of the time.
Most of the time. Well, does the laptop have a docking station?
Yeah.
It does?
Yes.
Ethernet on the docking station by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, well, you're halfway there. So basically, you've got the networking solution on the notebook all done. You have a network card in your desktop?
No, I don't.
All right, so you're going to go out and buy an inexpensive Ethernet card, okay?
Okay.
And the easiest way, if you only ever want to have two computers hooked up together, you don't need a hub or anything. You could just get what's called a crossover cable, which is a special kind of Ethernet cable that is wired to hook one computer to another computer. So if all you ever want to do is hook that laptop up to the desktop, just get a network card for the desktop and a crossover cable and hook the two together directly. If you ever wanted anything else on the network, you'd go out and get a hub. But since you only got those two, do that, okay? So that's going to cost you maybe $25, $30, that's all. And then it's easy to make your desktop share its printer. All you have to do when you set up the printer is set it up as a shared device. You know how to do file sharing on the computer?
Yes.
Yeah. The easiest way to do two Windows devices, see file and printer sharing right here. The easiest way to get two Windows devices working together is not over TCP/IP, but over NetBEUI, which is a really fairly antiquated protocol based on Microsoft's LAN manager. It's basically a NetBIOS interface. So you'll have turn on NetBUI in both computers, have them talk to each other over NetBUI, and once you've got the printer shared on the desktop and you've got the desktop networked with the laptop, you should be able to install that printer as a network printer on the laptop and print directly.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's a good project because I'll tell you what you'll learn is a lot about how networking works in a very kind of constrained, simple environment. So if that's something that down the road, I'll tell you, the best skill you can have, job skill you can have these days is knowing how networks work. Because what is everything these days is the internet, and getting the computers on the internet, getting computers networked in business. If you're a network guru, you will have work for life. You want to work in the computer industry when you get out in the real world?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Networks interest you?
Yeah.
Or programming or web content? What is it you like?
More programming and web.
Yeah. Well, it couldn't hurt to have some network background, too. Good luck to you, okay?
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the call.
All right.
Folks, stay where you are. Still to come on this very show. Yes, we will install Linux. You know, we've got to get going because there's only about half an hour left. We promise we're going to do it before the show's over. We still have lots more of your questions to answer, and Sumi Das is going to show you how you can make internet phone calls on your telephone on today's Fresh Gear. All that and more as the Screensavers rolls on.
This Cybercrime Report is brought to you by Symantec. In your connected world, be smart, be safe.
After nearly a year, a lawsuit challenging free speech on the net is over. The case focused on a website called teacherreview.com. A former college student says he created it to help other students choose the best teachers. But at least one teacher says the site was defamatory. For a look at the case, go to our website, cybercrime.com.
This Cybercrime Report has been brought to you by Symantec.
Oh man, my wrist is killing me.
You guys don't know what real pain is. Check that out. I got that from a frozen computer.
Ah! Come on, that's nothing. I got this from a virus. Oh, God. Oh! Worst virus I ever had.
Ew.
A computer virus.
Tired of computer aches and pains? Norton SystemWorks protects you against viruses and prevents computer problems.
Did you hear about Kevin's little computer problem?
Hey, guys!
She's always there when you need her.
I'm really very proud of what my daughter has done for herself.
She's got a great future ahead of her. She'll do well.
ITT Technical Institute. Education for the future. To find out more, call 1-800-942-0099 or visit us on the web. Take advantage of our programs in information technology. A more flexible schedule to reach your goals. Call 1-800-942-0099 today.
Dash here at Siggraph 2000. I'm on the lookout for Joe Takai, the Computer Animation Festival chair here at the convention. Come on. Can you tell everyone about my favorite event at Siggraph, the Electronic Theater?
The Electronic Theater is one of the venues in the Computer Animation Festival, the best of the best work of the past year. So we end up with 42 pieces of animation, garnered from over 650 submissions this year, a new record. We went through about 38 hours of videotape to get to that, which represent everything that was the greatest animation of the last year.
What's going on for Siggraph 2001?
We can see some things with digital media coming, streaming video, QuickTime VR, internet broadcast, things like that I think are going to really start showing themselves pretty quickly.
For more on Siggraph, go to my website at techtv.com/dash.
Welcome back. Oh, yeah. You want me to say that? I can do that? Sure.
Yeah. Either one of us?
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Leo Laporte. How was that?
That was beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Leo, you're a professional.
I'm a trained pro.
Hey.
Don't try this at home, kids.
And
Actually, that's how I got started.
Don't try this at home?
Doing it at home.
In radio or
Hi,
television?
I'd like to welcome you to my television show. I was about 8.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They had television. I can't do it with a straight face.
They didn't have television.
Oh.
I invented it.
They didn't have video cameras.
No.
Did you invent the internet?
Yep.
Are you running for president?
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, vote for Leo Laporte. He invented the internet and television.
What's on the show today, Patrick?
I have no idea. But
actually, our
today's
chat topic. Yeah, let's do the future
Jinx,
phone.
Buy me a Coke.
Okay, future phone.
Where's our red phone? Somebody walked with our red phone.
Can you believe somebody's actually invented a phone that uses transduction? That's the word I was trying to think of. Transduction. It uses your bone to conduct the audio into your ear. You
so
literally
you're talking to your pinky?
Talking to your pinky. And listen to and this is a phone. I'm not kidding you.
Ma, come pick me up.
So we thought there's, that's a good idea, but there's got to be other things you could do with the phone. So we've got a little poll going on, and we actually have some choices for you.
What are the choices, Liz?
I don't know. I'm going to go to our website because we talked them over in the meeting, but I don't really know what Russell ended up doing for, or not Russ, whoever our web guy is.
Josh.
Josh, Rush.
Josh, hope you're not watching right now.
I'm still living in the past. Let's go to the Screensavers and see what our poll choices are tonight, kids, shall we? We've got your finger phone. I guess that's the one we're talking about. How about the holographic phone?
Ooh.
Roger decided he wanted an earring phone.
Yeah.
He thought it'd be really cool to design a phone that hung from your ear.
Just clipped right on.
Right on there. Or the banana phone.
Sorry, we have no
bananas. Get to the website, give us your vote, and we'll talk about it someday. There's Roger. He's actually wearing the earring phone. Go show him again.
Show him again, Raj.
That's why his lobes are so huge. He's been wearing his earring phone. David on the TechTV Netcam network from New Brunswick, New Jersey. Hello, David.
David.
Hey, Leo.
Hey, David.
Hey.
What's up?
I'm coming from Rutgers University.
I was going to say, yeah, what campus are you on, man?
Rutgers. Love it. Love
I'm on
it.
the Bush campus.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh, man. So why aren't you out,
I've got to tell you guys, I've been watching for 2 years since ZDTV, well, what is now TechTV, first came out, and you guys are incredible.
Hey, that's great. Thank you. You must have been 10
I
then.
really learned so much from watching you guys, and I'm a big fan.
Awesome.
Thank
Dude,
you
are
very
you
much.
a computer science guy?
No, computer engineering for now.
Oh, cool. What is that? How is that different? Does that mean you design computers?
Basically, it's more like electrical engineering. It's it's more, it's not the programming.
Got it. Got it. Very cool. So someday you'll be designing chips for us all.
Well, I actually want to be a patent attorney.
Oh, well, you know what, David? We need some patent attorneys who understand technology.
Yeah.
That technology patent situation is a mess.
That's what our boy over at Cybercrime did.
That's
right.
my dream
Intellectual
job.
property.
Working for Intel or Microsoft.
Good deal, David. What can we do for you?
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
I'm running Windows Millennium, right?
Yes.
And I want to install Windows 2000.
Yes.
But Windows Millennium doesn't understand what Windows 2000 is. Just from running the setup file, it doesn't really recognize Millennium.
It doesn't. That's interesting. They haven't updated the 2000 installer, I guess.
No, so I was wondering what to do, because I don't want to use NT file system. I'd rather keep it all in the native FAT32.
Well, let me recommend strongly that what you do is you make another partition and make an NTFS partition for Windows 2000. It runs a lot better that way, and then you can have a dual boot system. You can install Windows 2000 on a FAT32 partition coexisting with Windows, but 98 or I guess ME if we could figure out a workaround. But I think that's really not a desirable way to do it. And by the way, if you do that, you can never kind of go back. And if you decide you want to get rid of Windows 2000, they're kind of interlocking. So,
how should I go about installing Windows 2000?
Well, here's what I would recommend. You actually did it right. You always start by installing Windows 98 first.
Okay.
Or ME in this case first. Then you'll create, if you have Partition Magic or some non-destructive partitioner, create a partition for Windows 2000. Okay. Then boot from the Windows 2000 CD.
Okay.
Now, if you have a UDMA 66 drive, you may need your drivers on a floppy. You may or may not. It just depends, okay?
Yeah.
If you've got your drivers on a floppy and you need NT drivers, have them ready. And when you first boot the NT disk, it says press F6 if you're going to have an extra driver. Make sure you don't miss that, because that'll be when you get... Then later in the installation, it'll say, okay, I'm ready now. Do you have any extra drivers? Otherwise, it won't see your hard drive. Okay. So do that. Then install into the partition. At that point, now here's where you could get into trouble. Normally, in my experience, and I haven't tried doing a dual boot with ME. Wait a minute, I do have a dual boot with ME, so I know it's doable. I do have a dual boot with ME. At that point, I believe Windows 2000, and this is what my experience was the last time I installed it, will say, okay, I see you already have Windows, it probably won't say ME, it'll probably say 98 installed. Would you like to set up a dual boot? And you say yes. It might not even ask you, probably just do it. And what it does then is it puts on the FAT32 partition, the Windows 290 or Windows ME partition, it puts, you know, I cannot say Windows Me. I'm supposed to, I just can't.
Windows Millennium Edition.
Windows ME, I just can't say Windows Me.
It's not a great name.
It's a terrible name. Anyway, it'll put the NT bootloader there, it'll put its boot.ini file there, and it'll actually, that's the boot partition, that'll be the active partition, and then at that point you could specify 98 or 2000. That's a much cleaner way to do it.
Okay, so it's basically booting from the CD is the main thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it's going to, because I'm thinking back, I have a dual boot ME 2000, and I recently reinstalled 2000, and as I remember, it didn't have any problem at all seeing ME. But what I always do is I boot from the CD to do it.
Yeah, an interesting side note is most of the actually boot commanders that are out there right now, most of them actually, they're just starting to adopt them for Windows ME. Which is
everybody, you know, it just came out. It's only a month old, so it's.
So it's a pain for everybody right now, Dave.
Okay.
Microsoft's kind of created this problem by having this kind of twofold, bifurcated, if I may use a $2 word, operating system strategy. But it's all going to merge next year or the year after with Whistler.
Yeah, that's what I thought 2000 would be, but it wasn't. You know, I thought that would be finally their merged consumer business operating system.
The truth is, I don't use ME hardly at all. Really? So much, almost all this. Initially, I had to. But more and more software now, even my Diamond Rio, all work with 2000. I haven't had to go into ME in a long, long time.
I'm just using ME for the games, basically.
Even all the new
most
games.
Most of the games should actually be running. You got DirectX 7.0 and higher are running on Windows 2000. It's in
but
their
it's slightly
stock.
faster.
Yeah, it's about 10 to 14%. Not over Windows NT 4.0,
There's
but
some
over Windows 98.
You know, it's funky. Really, it has a lot to do with whether the game designer said check for NT, and if it's NT, say don't run.
Right.
And there's also like Homeworld, for some unaccountable reason, runs in NT but doesn't run well. So there are some games I have to boot into ME. Homeworld is the only game I still boot into ME for. Everything else I run in 2000. All right.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot.
Hey, thanks for the nice words.
I have one question for you.
Yes.
You know the dial pad for internet calling?
Yeah.
Do you guys recommend anything else besides dial pad?
We don't even recommend dial pad.
Oh, I like dial pad.
Really?
You don't like dial pad?
There's I've been using that to call home and
a lot of echo and stuff.
Yeah, it's very like it's like being on a wireless radio. It's very like being on a ham radio system.
There's nothing better.
I don't think anything's that much better. I think the guys at Fresh Gear may have taken a look at something.
There's something called, I think, Free Phone. I'll look at our phone free.
Okay.
But yeah, I think they all have the same problem. It's the internet, right?
It's basically the way it works. It's just they don't work very well yet.
Hey, we got to run. We're going to put you to work, though, okay? You want to take us out here?
Definitely.
All right, do it, babe.
Thanks, Patrick and Leo. Sumidas connects the internet to your home when the screensavers continues.
David, I think you have a future. Take care.
What was that back there?
What was that? Yeah, phone free.
The Screensavers is sponsored by Gateway. In Gateway country, people rule.
In this country, people have certain inalienable rights. The right to customize technology at a fair price. The right to learn how to do amazing things with it. The right to a computer that's up to date. To technical support anywhere, anytime. To try out everything and buy nothing. So may it ever be. In Gateway country, people rule. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
Shh. Want to learn a secret about long distance? Let's compare those prices again. AT&T 7 cents, IDT just a nickel. Sprint charges 10 cents on weekdays, and MCI charges a quarter. While IDT charges one flat rate all the time, 5 cents a minute, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Switch today and save a few, switch today and save a few bucks. IDT long distance. No one does it for less.
Fresh Gear is the show with the coolest gadgets, and now they're giving them away.
Hello, and welcome to this special edition of Fresh Gear.
You could win a Philips personal video recorder with TiVo service for life.
It's watching what you want when you want to.
Watch for clues on Fresh Gear, then head to the website and take a quiz to win.
He did it! He did it!
It's the Fresh Gear TiVo giveaway.
Woo!
Right now on TechTV.com.
TheScreenSavers.com is cheerful, colorful, and easy to use, just like a pack of Crayola crayons. So this week, we're quizzing you on your store of geeky Mac trivia, speaking of easy to use, from Lisa to the Cube. If you know more about Macs than you do about your own family, then take this week's Super Geek Challenge. That would be pathetic. You could win some Screensavers swag. It's all available at TheScreenSavers.com. Is this confusing? It's kind of weird, isn't it? And congratulations to Summit, or Sumit, from Baltimore, Maryland, the winner of yesterday's Super Geek Quiz t-shirt or cap giveaway. What is Tux wearing today? What is he doing? He's not wearing anything.
Well, it's always nice to hear suggestions. Thanks for calling.
He's talking on the fish phone. I get it. I get it. Be sure to fill out the form after you've taken our quiz for the chance to win. Hey, Sumit, if you're in Baltimore, by the way, Pat and I are going to Baltimore. When are we going to Baltimore, Pat?
I believe the weekend of the 18th.
The weekend of the 18th,
November
we're going to be
18th.
there. I'm so excited. So we'll give you more details about that. We're going to have such a good time. What is that called? Fells Point?
I have no idea.
That's where the party set. Get off your knees. What are you doing?
I'm sitting on a computer.
All
I'm in
right.
the chat room.
He's sitting on a computer. Here's Sumi Das. Get off the computer.
No way.
A high quality set here we got with a product that might make itself obsolete before you can even buy it on today's Fresh Gear.
This is the Internet Phone Wizard from ActionTec. It's a device that works in conjunction with an ITSP, or an Internet Telephony Service Provider, to allow you to make phone calls using a regular telephone, so you don't have to use a headset and get a microphone and speakers. It also improves the sound quality of those phone calls. Let me show you how it works. I'm going to tell you first about the setup. You're going to have to install software on your computer. After that, you got to make all the connections. This is connected to the computer via a USB port, and then you're going to make the phone connections. From the wall jack, it goes to the computer. And then from the computer, it goes right into this line modem slot. And then right next to it, you connect up your phone. Once you've done that, you can go to your computer and select one of the different ITSPs that ActionTec has partnered with. We're going to choose dialpad.com. That's selected. And now I'm going to go ahead and launch my browser. Once you know that you're online, you can just pick up the phone, and it will automatically go to the site that you've selected as your ITSP. So we've got Dialpad up. Now, I do have to log on. So even though you're making the phone call from the telephone, you do have to interact with your PC. Now that I have the Dialpad window brought up, I can go ahead and click in this black bar, and then I can either type in the phone number from the keyboard, or I can punch it in using the phone. So I'm going to dial the TechTV main number. I'll hear an ad for Dialpad, which is very short, only about 5 seconds, and then it will go ahead and start dialing. It's now picking up, and I'm hearing the outgoing message for the TechTV main line.
Please stay on the line, and your call will be answered shortly.
The quality overall is pretty good when it works. The trouble is that it's inconsistent. What it does do is that it helps with echo cancellation, and it improves the quality of the sound that way. And it's convenient that you're able to use your phone as opposed to using the headset that we mentioned earlier, the speakers, the microphone, and getting that all organized. The other problem is that you're relying on your ITSP and your ISP. And then there's the problem of the speed of your connection and the latency of the call, which is the delay that you sometimes experience. The Internet Phone Wizard isn't a product that we'd recommend for beginning or novice users because of these problems that we just mentioned. We give the ActionTec Internet Phone Wizard 2 out of 5 stars. It's $100 and is available now.
You can catch a new Fresh Gear every weekend afternoon at 12:30 Eastern right here on TechTV. Here's an email from Andy, Cranston, Rhode Island. He asks, I'm interested in installing Linux on my Windows 98 machine. I was wondering, how should I start off? We'll do it. We're going to install Linux when the Screensavers continues.
a daily dose of the best from the web.
Do you like film, music, and arts? Why not invest in an artist? We discovered a financial hub that is giving entertainers their big break. We'll tell you all about it on tonight's show. Plus, we take a look at the sport that appears to be dominated by rowdy, beer-chugging men in tacky monogram bowling shirts. And we'll find out why Shooter is in the doghouse.
Internet Tonight, coming up tonight at 10, 9 Central, only on TechTV. The Screensaver's Fresh Gear is sponsored by TiVo.
We received an email from Andy in Cranston, Rhode Island. He says, hey, I'm interested in installing Linux on my Windows 98 machine. I was wondering how I should start off. Well, you know what? How would you? I mean, you know what? I would say if it's your primary machine, if it's your only machine, stop.
Don't start off.
Don't start off. If it's not your primary machine, great. We're going to show you how to install on a system without it.
I think it's the better way to do it.
Yeah.
It really takes an expert to do a dual boot system with Windows 98. Yeah. It's certainly fun, but you will bring your system to its knees. Something will go wrong. If that's your production machine, don't do this. Either install on a secondary older machine. By the way, that's one of the things about Linux. It'll work on a 486. You don't have to have a super fancy machine. You're just going to, it's better to have it on a play machine, right?
Or you know what else you can do is actually buy a second hard drive, install it on that second hard drive. You can play around with it that way. If, you know, for $40 you can get a 2, 3, 4 gigabyte hard drive that'll take Linux and be incredibly happy with it. If it's your primary system, is it Mandrake? No, Corel that has the boot partition.
Corel will do it from within Windows, which is nice. So you run Corel from within Windows. You insert the disk, it does auto run, and it'll do it automatically, transparently, create a dual boot system. That's probably the easiest way. That's not what we're going to do here. We're going to give you a real Linux, which is Red Hat, and kind of everybody's favorite. They've made the installation so much easier since we did it last.
That's what I said. Well, I was saying in the article online, I think it was my first struggle with Linux was, give or take, a 13-hour thrashing by the Penguin.
I gave up the first time.
Yeah, I basically ended up eating milking cookies
about 5 years ago. I tried installing Linux. I said, forget it. It was Slackware.
Yeah. I think the Penguin is about to attack.
So what do we see? This is the first. First of all, you did this from the boot disk. You booted up from CD. Now, that's the first piece of advice.
Yeah. First, if you have a choice,
I'll hold.
You hold the tux. If you have a choice, actually, what we want you folks to do is boot from a boot CD. Go into your BIOS, configure it so it recognizes a boot CD, and set it up on that. If you don't know how to change it in your BIOS, don't install Linux right now. Now, what you see the screen up here, every installation of Linux is a little bit different. They're all going to ask you a bunch of basic questions. You're going to start out with language. What do you want to speak when this is installed?
Slovak is my favorite.
It's a tough one.
Make it a little bit tougher.
Icelandic.
Do it in a foreign language.
You know, the keyboard configuration. Do you have a 101 key? Do you have a 2-button or a 3-button mouse? Serial or PS2? If you can't answer these questions, you're not allowed to install Linux. Stop. Take the disk out. Do not install
Now,
Linux.
here's where everybody's going to have some questions.
Now, what we have here, it's like the install type. Well, in this, it's a very graphical one. This one tells you can either set it up as a workstation, a GNOME, KDE. It can be a server, or if you're a stud with Linux, you can do a custom installation.
Now, by the way, GNOME and KDE are different desktops.
Right.
But both of them are graphical interfaces. It'll be easy to use.
We generally prefer KDE.
I much prefer it. Now, one thing I want to tell folks, if you use the workstation or server installations, it'll tell you that, by the way, right on the left here. It will format your hard drive and delete all its contents.
Whoops.
So don't do that if you want to do a dual boot. You're going to be going to custom installation.
Yeah, so we're actually going to do
But we're going to make it easy.
For the purpose of this one, like we said, we want you to actually install this on a blank machine. We want you to know what you're doing before you do this. We're going to go for a straight KDE installation. It'll make your life much simpler.
It puts everything you need on there automatically.
Now, basically, we have the partitions. If your system isn't pre-configured with a Linux partition, it's going to fight with you over this one. We'll try that one. And this is actually going to make it's actually not.
You're going to have to add it. You're going to actually have to add a partition here. You're running the Linux partitioner. Now, there's something called mount points. This is the thing that most people get confused with when they first do Linux. The way Linux works is each partition can look like a different directory or directory and subdirectories. You're going to have a / directory, which may include the /boot directory on every installation, and you're going to have a swap directory on every installation.
/ directory 1 megabyte, little small, you think?
Make it a little bit bigger. Most Linux installations can install in under 500. What I would just say is grow to fill disk, and that way it'll just do it. It will just use as much as it can use. So it's going to basically take over what's free now. See, what it did is it created. We're going to have a little problem here. It's only got 7 megabytes free. Let's just delete this Windows partition. How about that?
Yeah, I know, but why is it actually doing that there?
C's a Windows partition.
Mount point, unknown. This is fascinating.
It looks like it has B on there as well. This machine obviously has been through the mill. You're going to be deleting partitions and creating new Linux partitions. But again, the mount point is telling it which directory that partition contains. The / directory is the root directory. You've got to have that. But it's very common to create up to 5 different partitions. Most commonly a swap, a slash USR / local. That's where all your programs will be installed, and a / home. These are all different mount points. That's where your personal directory, your personal data will be stored. So / USR local / home, and then a swap directory. You having fun?
Oh yeah, I love this part.
I'm telling you, every single time, this is what gets you as the partitioner. You want to keep going, or should we? Let's wrap it up.
So basically, once you've done that,
what happens after this? It'll just put the stuff where you'll format the drive, put the stuff where you said to put it.
You'll be waiting. You'll be eating your cookies. You'll be waiting for it. Basically, the next thing you're going to see is probably either a beautiful screen of colors and lights and flashing sound that is the desktop,
or this.
And there we go.
Hey, it installed!
Oh boy,
but that was fast.
And it's a command prompt. We actually installed this before the show, which is highly unusual for us. Now, if you see this, you got 2 options. One, if you want the graphical, you can run it like this. You can run it from a command prompt, or you can type in the fabulous StartX, and boom, ladies and gentlemen.
You have a Linux installation. Getting X running is the next big problem that people often have. You need to know information about your monitor that you may not know. You should have the monitor manual handy, and about your video card. You may even have to hand enter details about the video card if it doesn't auto-diagnose.
If you're lucky, Mandrake's pretty good, Corel's pretty good. A lot of these installations are pretty good about recognizing your video card, recognizing your monitor. If not, you may have to manually pick the chip that's on your graphics card.
Man.
If you're really stuck, you're going to have to manually program in what settings your graphics card and your monitor can handle. So you need to know the refresh rate your monitor can handle, the screen resolution you want to run at. Look at Tom's article. Look at the article I put up on the web. It'll walk you through this. And it'll also tell you how to set up your system so you can either boot directly into a prompt or boot directly into the fabulous.
This is KDE.
We love KDE.
Really looks like Windows. Very easy to use. You shouldn't have any trouble. Which is, by the way, why a lot of Linux old-timers eschew it, because they say, oh, it's Windows.
We don't like pretty pictures.
We got to have a command prompt. Jim from Cumming, Georgia. Thanks for... Oh, I dropped Tux. Thanks for joining us, Jim. What's up?
Leo, I had a question about the Merced chip I had read about a year ago through PC Magazine.
Right.
And to date, I have not been able to find any information on the Merced chip.
It's going to be out later this year.
It's going to be out, actually, it should be out at the end of October, give or take. Anandtech.com, SharkyExtreme.com. Not sure who else had. They both did some previews of it. Right now, because Microprocessor Forum is going on, there's a bunch of, not much more detail being released. They did most of their news.
Let's take a step back, just explain what it is for people who go, what, Merced? Intel's successor to the Pentium Pro, the Pentium 3, is the Pentium 7, or the P7 chip. It's a completely redesigned chip with a completely new architecture called the IA64. They're going to do a P4, which is a successor to the P3, but it's still IA86. That is a 32-bit based chip. The Merced, or P7, and actually it's going to be called the Itanium, that's the official name, is a 64-bit chip, all new operating systems. Linux has to be redesigned, and there is going to be a 64-bit Linux.
They actually have some 64-bit Linux.
It's already ready, that's right.
Yeah.
Will Windows be ready for it? Probably not.
No.
It will not be for consumers at any time in the near future. Not only expensive, but really it's a server chip. The P4 is where consumers want to go.
Yeah.
We'll be watching Merced, and believe us, we'll get a Merced system in the minute it's available.
Which should be sometime next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can compute
it says on my watch.
Willamette,
Itanium.
those silly
We're
little
going to have to get used to
names.
calling it Itanium. They all sound like toothpastes.
Yeah, and you know what? AMD is going to have a 64-bit competitor, and supposedly theirs is going to be done first.
Yeah, but theirs is going to be x86 architecture, so we'll see what happens. We're entering a very exciting new era of very, very powerful chips. I'm of the opinion they're more powerful than any user needs. Stick with the P3 and P4. It's plenty, or the current series of AMD chips. They're plenty for anybody.
They're going to be messy.
Yeah, it's going to be ugly for a year or
transition.
two. But we'll cover it, of course, because we like to get our hands
Because we like the pain. We like the anger. We like the frustration of upgrading operating systems. Coming up next, you're going to hear what we have to say, your emails, your faxes.
getting ready.
When the screensavers, he's rolling up his sleeve, folks, when the screensavers continues.
Don't touch that dial. The screensavers will be right back.
Increase your earning power with a computer science or information systems degree. Study anywhere, anytime. Call for your AICS catalog, 1-800-767-AICS.
Can your business afford downtime due to bad power? Can your enterprise avoid power disruptions? Who ensures availability for more networks worldwide? APC. Power management solutions wherever data is created, transmitted, or stored. For a free downtime analysis, go to iwantapc.com.
The race for president is on, but there's one angle you haven't heard. TechTV's e-lection 2000, your resource for technology issues on the campaign trail. Go to techtvnews.com for video interviews, tech updates, and opinion polls. Log on.
This is Lou Yeager
and sound off
with endorsement for.
Send your email now and let your voice be heard. TechTV's e-lection 2000. The digital age is breeding a dangerous new crime industry. Your best protection? Information. Watch Cybercrime. Legal expert Alex Wellen and correspondent Jennifer London bring you breaking news, in-depth reports and analysis from the front lines of high-tech crime. Know the risks. Cybercrime. Friday at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, only on TechTV.
This just in, the World Wide Web just keeps growing.
Internet Tonight, breaking the web down into tasty bite-sized morsels.
We encourage you to exercise your geekiness and send us your own homepage.
Internet Tonight, your daily diet of the interesting, insane, and incredibly useful of the web. Internet Tonight, coming up next.
We got your faxes and your emails, and here's what you have to say. Joe writes in, he says, what happened to the show notes? The last ones I received were 10100.
He's still writing them.
Yeah, we're still writing them. Here's what happened. We just went through a transition. They were separating our servers from the former parent company, all that good stuff. We just moved to a new show notes system. The show notes mailing list, we're going back to it tonight. Is the first time it's going to be back up. We've been sending it out. You can always get our show notes the next day. You can always sign up again for the show notes at thescreensavers.com. As far as the show notes that I write or Leo writes at the end of the show, they go directly to your email box. Tonight, they get turned back on.
They're supposed to go out tonight.
Joe, they'll be in your, well, I hope.
Over 70,000 subscribers to that.
Yeah.
If you're not a subscriber, go to techtv.com/thescreensavers or thescreensavers.com and sign up.
Good stuff.
That's it. We're done.
This is The Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time right here. Okay? Okay.
imagination into television. You made it. Monday at 10:30, 9:30 Central, only on TechTV. And now the latest from the TechTV newsroom.
Hello, I'm Victoria Racano in the TechTV newsroom. Reform Party presidential hopeful Pat Buchanan has slapped a lawsuit on a North Carolina company that put his name on some porn sites. BuchananFoster.org is one of 4 sites named in the suit. The candidate claims the owner tried to sell him the domain names for $10,000. He wants the sites shut down or forced to post a disclaimer and a link to the official campaign site, BuchananReform.org. And a No Children Allowed sign has been posted on certain chat rooms throughout the Disney internet empire. The company says it will no longer let anyone 12 years old or younger into unmoderated chat rooms. The decision affects not only Go.com, but ESPN.com, ABC.com, and other properties. The company says it decided that an overall ban was the only way to comply with federal regulations.
Tonight on Internet Tonight, financing your creative efforts over the internet. And some of the hottest new web animations, plus bowling. It isn't just for fat guys anymore, but it is time for Internet Tonight. Hello there and welcome to Internet Tonight. I'm Michaela Pereira. Here's what's happening in Internet news tonight. Well, if you're under the age of 12 and you love to chat, don't plan on visiting any Walt Disney websites. This week, the Mickey Mouse Company has restricted pre-teenagers from accessing any unmoderated chat rooms on Go.com, ESPN.com, and other Disney websites. The decision was made voluntarily after the Council of Better Business Bureaus found that minors could access chats which were sexually explicit in nature and post personal information. This marks a growing trend of kid-oriented websites pulling the plug on their interactive activities for children. What do you do if you're running for president and websites registered using your campaign name are linking to pornographic material? Well, Patrick Buchanan, the Reform Party nominee, is suing. His lawyer wants the sites to either shut down, have a disclaimer, or at least link to the official Buchanan site. Currently, they link to the campaign site of the Natural Law Party's candidate. Mark Rendina of North Carolina, who registered the domain names in question, has tried to sell them to the Buchanan campaign for $10,000. Well, it will likely be a cold day when David Blaine webcasts his magic over the internet. November 27th, to be exact. The Wacky Conjurer's plan is to freeze himself in a block of ice for 3 consecutive days. For the occasion, Blaine inked a deal with iCast, which will provide round-the-clock coverage at his site, davidblaine.com. In addition, viewers will be able to chat and access his vitals, which hopefully will be updated regularly. By bringing his trick to the web, Blaine hopes to, quote, recreate the way magic is shown to people.